So nice to see you here today, Gerard.
Well, thank you again for having me.
Thank you for
Exciting
having
topic.
me. Thank you so much for having me today, Gerard.
hmm And how's your situation back there with the pandemic?
It's going good, I think.
Better?
It's very depends who you talk to. So
All right. And what are we talking today? I believe we're talking about, how a virtual assistant could actually help you grow your business in different ways. Is that correct?
yeah, I think we were talking about managing the best ways to manage your VA to ensure that they get the most done. They help you grow your business, help you have more freedom. I know we have a lot of experience or feedback from loan officers, realtors, other professionals out there that have hired virtual assistants and the best ways and or best strategies they've used to manage them. So Gerard, why don't you talk a little bit about that, about what kind of the feedback that you have received from, loan officers and realtors in general. I know you help a lot of other professionals, but we could focus a little bit on loan officers and realtors and kind of, what have you seen? What have you heard back as far as feedback from them?
Well, I think for me, I could mention top three to you. And really the number one is, they can't keep up with their leads. So depending if it's a new lead, it's a current lead, a past client, so they really can't keep up with it. The reason why is that, they're busy doing the money making activities, which is, doing transactions, closing on time, putting fires. So that is really the number one. And the number two is a more of branding. Let's say, keeping themselves like, in social media.
Right.
Because social media is really big right now, whether you admit it or not, right? And the third one is, staying on top of mind of their clients. So really those are the top three. And a lot of realtors out there, if you guys are new to the industry or, if you're looking to hire a virtual assistant, we can basically discuss with you what are let's say, the most common activities that a virtual assistant can cover for mortgage and real estate professionals. So I just want to discuss on the mortgage side first. So I've been a mortgage virtual assistant since 2012. I've been working with Richard since God knows when. And typically what I did is sometimes it goes into different spectrum, like, both with the client and the realtor side. So most of our clients here are really looking for virtual assistants who can do, following up with their leads, staying on top of mind of their leads, either, doing an initial contact with a new lead that comes in into the radar, or following up or keeping in contact with their pre-approved clients, as well as calling their past client databases. And I'm no expert. I don't know what's happening in the market there, but I believe that refinancing is high, and that's typically one of the reasons why, or most common reason why, we have had mortgage clients hiring virtual assistants, because typically when you do, or when you place calls to past clients, aside from the fact that that it's unique in a way that well, I'm done doing the business with this person, so it's good that this person is keeping in contact with me, or just checking calls. So that's one of the activities when we call past clients, checking calls, just trying to see how they are during the pandemic season, or let's say pandemic crisis or period. And aside from that, along with it is, they try to update the contact information on file. I mean, do we still have the correct email address? So is this really a working number? Or do they have alternative numbers that they could actually give to us? And the third one is, basically just to see if they're in the market, or, if refinancing would make sense to them. And number four is, just to do the Just Ask campaign. So Just Ask campaign is just really all about, asking for referrals. If they know somebody who's looking to purchase a home or, maybe looking to refinance. So those are the four things that, that our virtual assistants can actually implement for you if you're really wanting them to call your past client databases. So I think, with that, it's one strategy that you can implement to your business if you're wanting to, build your list again and grow your sales pipeline. And, talking about realtors. So there are a couple of things that a virtual assistant could actually cover in terms of, the telemarketing side, phone appointment, and generating sales or lead generation for realtors. So typically virtual assistants could do like calls to home buyers, just pre-qualifying them if in any case, they're looking to, or when will be they ready to purchase a home, and pre-qualify if they have been approved with a mortgage or they're working with a realtor, or perhaps how is their credit score going. So that's one for the home buyer. But with the home seller side, so I guess there are, subcategories for home sellers. So there are expired listings, there are for sale by owners, there are probates. So these are, the areas that usually realtors wanting to tap into. So in order for them to, increase their sales moving forward. So yeah. So with the calling part, I guess that's it. What is second? The second one is social media branding. So since social media is big right now, and I believe if you don't have social media presence, it's like a disservice to you, to your family, and to your business. Everybody's in social media right now. If you don't have a simple business page, and then I've encountered a lot of clients who I'm looking at their Facebook profiles. I'm doing some assessment with their Facebook profiles. They don't even say that they're mortgage professionals. They don't say that they're realtors in that specific neighborhood, or let's say city or county, or or state. So what are your thoughts on that, Mr. Smith?
Well, you know what? You brought up a couple things, but what you just said, I want to ask you, because I've noticed that too. I do a lot of research. I look up loan officers, Google them, simple as Googling them, because that's what potential buyers and sellers are going to do. They're going to Google their potential realtor or loan officer. They want to see that is a serious business professional. And so when somebody Googles you, you've got to show up. And so Gerard, tell everybody a little bit about the list. Like we personally have a list, and if anybody's interested, you can definitely comment below and we'll send it to you. But it's a list of 50 plus online business listing type websites that you want to talk a little bit about that, because that's one of the first things. If I just now hired my first virtual assistant, I'm going to do two things, or I'm going to have them do the first two things, is help me build out my database and my CRM, because loan officers and realtors just don't have time to do that. And you touched on that earlier, that they call past clients, they call their database, they update their email, they update their phone number. If the phone number doesn't work, they email the past client to update the phone number. They do a whole standard operating procedure. They connect with them on social media, set them up in the CRM, set up email campaigns, all of that. So I'd have them do that first. And then the second thing I'd have a VA do, if I just brand new hired one, is I would have them get me out there digitally. Is that the right word? That sounds funny. But
yeah,
out on the web, everywhere. So when someone Googles me, they see that I'm serious. Do you want to talk a little bit about that list, though, that we use?
Yeah, so we have a list of citations, or online citations, or let's say an online website where you can register yourself as a business, and is very helpful basing on our experience and basing on the other clients' experience. It's very helpful in building out their social media presence. So in the SEO or search engine optimization side, so these is pretty basic. So this is really one of the first things that they do. aside from backlinking, aside from, keyword research. So the online citations is, really number one.
So Gerard, just so people understand, some of the well-known business listing websites are Yelp, Zillow.com. Whether you like Zillow or not, you want a free account because they do show up high in Google. Yellowpages.com. A lot of them people have heard of, but many of them nobody's ever heard of. But because of the SEO and because of the how large these online companies are, even though we've never heard of them, they still show up on page 1 and 2 of Google when somebody Googles you. So you have a huge presence. So like you said, Gerard, all the social media channels, but all these different business listing websites that really show you everywhere. And then not only that, but I've seen so many realtors and loan officers have great success with their virtual assistants having a consistent biography / information. So, and what I mean by that is as simple as your Facebook and Instagram, it needs to show people when someone goes to your Facebook, someone goes to your Instagram, someone goes to your LinkedIn, it needs to show what they do the second they see it, because the attention span is so fast that they're going to leave. And I'm blown away. And I don't give, people don't know what you don't know, but I see so many times where I'll go to a Facebook of a realtor or loan officer and it doesn't even state anything in their bio. So having that consistently done across all web pages is really, really important, because then that shows consistency and it helps with SEO and showing up on searches and so forth too. So just wanted to add that.
Yeah. And maybe you forgot to mention about, Yahoo business listings, and of course, Google itself. Google lets you
business. Yeah.
So
I don't think I understood enough, and I don't think a lot of people understand how important that Google business listing is, because Google obviously owns it and Google promotes the heck out of it. So if somebody Googles your name, that is going to be one of the very top pages that show up. So you've got to have that optimized out, and your VA is perfect for doing that. Your VA can optimize it. Your VA can post blog posts to it because it keeps it relevant. It keeps it new, and Google sees that. So they pop that up higher than anybody else. Your VA can contact your past clients and have them do a Google review. You need those reviews. You need that information online so you are relevant and you are serious, because when a potential buyer or seller Google their realtor or Google their loan officer and they can't find anything, that the perception is that they're not serious, they're not professional, they're not full-time. You hear that a lot. But yeah, you've got those are the kind of things that, like you said earlier, we don't have time to do because we're busy. We're busy helping our current buyers and sellers. We're busy helping our current borrowers. And we can't be on Facebook and Instagram, and we can't be online and setting all that stuff up or calling, updating our CRM, because we don't really have time. And not only that, but I don't know about anybody else. If once you start it, I kind of get bored of doing that, because I want to be talking to people. That's my natural, salesperson personality. So I would rather have that done in the background. So thought I would just add that, Gerard.
So yeah, so really that's part of the digital marketing side. And of course, the third one is really more of, staying on top of mind of your clients. And usually, really one of the most common thing that they do is, first off, I'm glad that you mentioned about CRM management or, database, because of course, you mentioned about not having time to, to really organize your leads. And usually email drip campaigns is, a big part of what you call this, and staying on top of mind of your leads, like regardless if it's new, if it's current, if it's past. So these are, the usual activities that a virtual assistant could, minutely help you, at least assist you in terms of, keeping in contact, growing your sales, and doing, just a mere follow up with your leads. Because sometimes, you got so busy and without that follow up, and then, you might lose the client per se.
Yes. I'm going to interrupt you real quick because that is so important, because I hear that over and over and over, that we don't have time to follow up with leads. We don't have time to follow up with people that they might not be ready today, so they're not answering, but you got to follow up because they are somebody that put their hand up and said, hey, I want to buy, I want to borrow, I want to sell. So having a standard operating procedure, kind of a checklist for your virtual assistant to do, could easily keep you top of mind. So for example, if a lead comes in and I call that lead and I don't reach them, I'm going to leave a voicemail. Then I'm going to send them a text. Then they go into that follow-up system where they're going to, a reminder is going to come out, or the virtual assistant is going to continue to call once a week or send an email or send a text and then communicate with whoever referred that. Not to badger somebody, but just to keep up and continue to follow up. Because what usually happens is we get new leads, we call them and they're ready to go. So we're helping them and we're helping new people, and people fall through the cracks. And that's, I think, the biggest frustration in our industry is, leads fall through the cracks. We forget about them. Then we might one day, I'm going to call my old leads. And then we call and then they're saying, oh, we already bought a house. Oh, yeah, we bought a house, because we forgot to follow up with them. And so putting a system in place for your virtual assistant to do those follow-ups and to set them up in the CRM and to set up drip email campaigns and set up texting and continue to follow up over time, then that just has you, the odds of you helping them go straight up, because you're the only one following up, because we forget, right? Is that what you kind of meant?
Mm-hmm. That is right. And apart from, those three things that I mentioned, a lot of clients out here, especially with realtors, ask help from virtual assistants to, basically do some listing coordination, transaction coordination. And, pretty much there are a lot of virtual assistants who are, very knowledgeable, as well as, experienced in this kind of field. So.
Yeah, I talked to a realtor the other day, and she has her virtual assistant calling on expired listings, and really all she's doing is looking for people that want to talk with the realtor. So she was setting the appointments with the realtor for the expired listings. Mm-hmm. So the realtor was busy showing homes and talking with potential buyers and sellers, while in the background the virtual assistant was calling. And the virtual assistant may have called, and I'm not sure on the exact numbers, but they may have called 200 people and got 4 people that wanted to talk to the agent about listing their house. So even if that, let's just say worst case scenario, the agent only gets 1 listing out of 4, but probably will get more. That's a pretty good return on investment for a few hundred phone calls. But I talk to hundreds, if not thousands, of realtors and loan officers across the country every year, and I don't know any that could consistently 2, 3, 4 hours a day make phone calls. We just don't have time. So having the virtual assistant do that in the background and then just filling our calendar. It's the same with loan officers. We have virtual assistants that if a loan officer wants 5, 10, right now with COVID-19, 5 to 10 video coffee appointments with realtors, the virtual assistant just fills the calendar. Same with one of my virtual assistants, Gerard, yesterday made calls on an old list of leads, and they're pretty old, and she only called for about an hour, and she got one person that said, "Hey, yes, I want to buy a house." So I talked to that person. They're pre-approved. They're good to go. And it was literally an hour that I probably wouldn't have made those calls on an old list, but but she did it, and she did a great job with it. And we have one more person we can help. So I hear the same stories over and over. It's setting up. And Gerard, I think we called this managing your virtual assistant, but how to help you increase your business and have more freedom. But we manage by results. So if I have a different types of calls that I want done, they're time blocked into my virtual assistant's calendar. So yesterday might be old leads, today's past clients, another time might, different days, different calls, but at the same time, having a standard operating procedure, having a checklist, so the same thing happens every time. Like you were talking about, building out the database, calling the potential past client or somebody in your database, sphere of influence, representing the loan officer or the realtor, saying we're just updating our database. We want to make sure we have the email correctly. We're not going to spam you. We're just going to send some good value information once in a while. Updating that, and then the VA has a checklist of what to do. Update the database, set them up on a drip marketing email campaign, connecting with that person on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, a whole list of different things so they stay top of mind. So I think that's real important with managing is, manage by results. Think about what results you want, and that's what you manage by. Like I've never ever once told a virtual assistant, I need you to make 1,000 calls. I don't care how, if I want five appointments with people that want to buy a house, then I tell my virtual assistant, by the end of the week, if you can get 5 appointments, but I need you to make calls, between 9 and 11, that's the best time to call during the day. I don't care if she makes 1,000 calls or 20 calls to get 5 appointments with buyers, because that's the result I want. So manage by results. You don't have to call your virtual assistant every hour to see what they're doing, see how they're doing, because they already know what to do and what results to get. So I think not micromanaging is very, very important. So I'm talking about a lot of different stuff, Gerard. Jump in.
And the good news is, if you guys are wondering what other tasks a virtual assistant can cover for you, we have this, amazing freebie that we can give out, that lists the 130 tasks that a virtual assistant can do for your business, regardless if you're in mortgage, real estate investing, insurance, and some other businesses.
Right.
Small business, startup. So.
Yeah, that's a great document. Free. We don't spam. We don't drive people crazy. We give value. So yes, if you want any of those freebies, we also have a really cool document that kind of shows all the different social media tasks that your virtual assistant can do for you. We have some other checklists that really, really help kind of, so we'll definitely give all of that. And, with you, Gerard, and me and us working together for about 10 years and hiring hundreds, if not thousands of virtual assistants, we've made a lot of mistakes and we've learned from them, and we've figured out some best practices and best tools to use. So we're willing to give anybody who's thinking about hiring a virtual assistant that information, because it's taken years to put it together. And like I said, made lots of mistakes, and then you learn from them and start to do things more efficiently and effective. So yeah, we'll share all that stuff. You guys can go to the website. You can drop your information, send a DM. We'll shoot that stuff over.
Yeah, and if you're wanting to learn more about mortgage and real estate virtual assistants, or maybe virtual assistants in general, and how can they help your business, feel free to go to www.remoteassistantscout.com. It's there, or you can text partner to 832-887-1300.
Oh, you switched it.
Yeah, because your number. So I just have to bring that up.
And I think on remoteassistantscout.com we do talk about the two biggest mistakes that we've made and have seen so many others make, and kind of we go through that. So we try to change that up every once in a while. But yeah, Gerard, it's been awesome talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me today, or for joining me today, rather, and I'll see you next week, okay?
That sounds good. Gerard is in the house. Y'all have a great day. Have a great weekend, too.
remoteassistantscout.com, or you may call or basically text partner to 832-887-1300. Thank you so much, and you all keep safe.
Yep.